work in finance as an accountant.
The product development side of things, and there's the product management side of things. So on the development side, we look at the market and our peers to see what they're doing and see what opportunities we have to offer our clients new services.
So I'm currently training to be a qualified investment manager. So I've got exams at the same time as I have work.
I work for Investec Wealth in the data management space. So I enable businesses to discover and derive business value from data.
We're responsible for the digital marketing channels that Investec uses in the UK. Examples of that include our website, our social media, all the communications that we send out to our clients.
I work as a wealth manager at Investec, which means I help people with their finances and with their investments.
On a daily basis, I'm coding. I'm in the technical payment service team, so this entails, imagine you send a payment and your bank will have to do a fraud check. Those are the kind of services that I help build.
What it entails is ensuring that our digital value propositions are experienced by our clients. So if there's any information they need or if there's any transactions that they might want to conduct themselves, they're able to do that 24/7 from the comfort of their own home.
I lead a team of about 100 investment professionals, and we do everything from deciding investment strategies to doing research and putting together portfolios.
So my role involves looking after a portfolio of high net worth individuals with the aim of building strong relationships to cross-sell them banking products and products of the wider organisation.
I do anything and everything that isn't managing money and isn't talking to clients, so anything that needs to be done internally.
In 2020, in November, I applied through 10,000 Black interns for internship, and I was in a really bad space. I just finished my third year, was 8 months pregnant, and then I got a call from Investec, went through a few rounds. My final round was like an all-day interview after just had my son, and then interned for 4 months last year, took a break just before my son turned 1 just to spend some time with him, and then a few months later I was like, I'm ready to go back to work.
I've been working in the wealth and asset management space for a while now. I've been involved in regulatory reporting projects, and a lot of reporting is based on data. So that's how I got into the data space, and now I'm full-time into data management.
This is through a graduate program. As my accent may give away, I'm originally from Australia, and I joined the National Australia Bank graduate program many years ago.
So I studied business and finance at university.
Always been in financial services, 15 years and counting. That I think it's been years of studying. I only really finished my last degree last year.
I started as a trainee investment assistant way back about 18 years ago, and I worked as a portfolio manager, and then about 10 years ago I became a researcher, and then Chief Investment Officer about a year ago.
Quit university, worked in IT for a few years, and through one of the IT projects I was working on, I ended up working for a high net worth individual. So working for a high net worth individual, it was quite an easy transition to then go into private banking.
I was very fortunate enough to join my previous firm on a programme called I-2020, which is for school leavers and graduates to try and get into the industry.
I did psychology and neuroscience at university, so nothing to do with economics. And then I just applied to lots of graduate programs, of which this was one, and I did a bit of time in the investment bank and then in the private bank, and then ended up in wealth and investment.
After I finished my degree, I actually wanted to change my career, so I started teaching myself Python, which is a programming language. At the same time, Investec invited me to a Female in Finance event. So when I came, I actually got to know Investec, hadn't heard of them before. And I fell in love with the culture, and I applied for the technology graduate program.
I don't think there's a time where I haven't had a financial hardship since I moved to the UK. We moved here in 2008. So my mum was a breadwinner, and then my mum became sick for like 2 years. And if we didn't have a community around us, we probably would have had to go back home. So I would say to young people, like, it's never your fault, and whatever cards that you're dealt in with life, just try to find some light into it.
During my GCSEs, my sister was actually diagnosed with cancer. After I finished my degree, she passed away, so this was a very difficult time for me, especially when I was applying for jobs. Definitely brings down your confidence a lot, so I found it really difficult to go to interviews and stuff, but I overcame this by telling myself it's okay to ask for help, it's okay to be vocal about things, and this is what I would advise other people if they're going through the same thing, to just create a good support system around them and just ask for help and talk about difficult situations they're experiencing.
Well, I grew up in just a council estate over in East London. So yeah, I came through a single parent household. So my dad wasn't around when I was growing up, so I had to go through a lot of hardship. I had to look a lot of bursaries. So I had the bursary when I went to university. I had to draw down on the hardship fund, and it was really, really helpful. So I definitely recommend, although you might be financially in a deficit, there are still ways to get where you need to go.
It's really confidence, I think, is something that I've had to really work on, push myself into situations that I'm not comfortable in. It's horrible for a brief moment, but then once you've done it, you feel so much better and realise that actually it was never as bad as you expected it to be.
I think for me, the key one was access to education. I needed to have worked 2 to 3 jobs in order to get myself through uni.
I think for me, I didn't grow up in a particularly rich household, didn't get great grades at school, didn't have a lovely time there either. I've got to be where I am today by helping other people become successful.
And it doesn't matter what your background is, where you've come from, what your gender is, what your sexuality is, what your religion is, just bring your true self to work.